Good morning. It's Tuesday. Today we continue with Matthew 23 with the woes to the Pharisees. Verse 29 through, I think we'll go to 36. How about that? Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites! For you build the tombs of the prophets and decorate the monuments of the righteous, saying, if we had lived in the days of our fathers, we would not have taken part with them in the shedding the blood of the prophets. Thus you witness against yourselves that you are sons of those who murdered the prophets. Fill up then the measure of your fathers. You serpents, you brood of vipers, how are you to escape being sentenced to hell? Therefore I send you prophets and wise men and scribes, some of whom you will kill and crucify, and some you will flog in your synagogues and persecute from town to town, so that on you may come all the righteous blood shed on earth from the blood of the righteous Abel, from the blood of the righteous Abel to the blood of Zachariah son of Barachiah, whom you murdered between the sanctuary and the altar. Truly I say to you, all these things will come upon this generation. So there's several things going on here. One is, of course, Matthew lives and writes years after the resurrection, so he knows the rest of the story. He remembers Jesus condemning the Pharisees and the scribes as hypocrites. And so he puts into Jesus' mouth several things. Some of these insults are the same insults that we read in back around chapter 3 of Matthew and 2 maybe of Mark, where John the Baptist calls them broods of vipers and stuff. So there's some common insults of the day, and Matthew may be remembering things that John the Baptist said and incorporating them here. The other thing is he's reflecting on the experience of the early church when he says things like, some of them you'll kill and crucify, and some you'll flog in your synagogues, and you'll persecute them from town to town. This is what happened to the early church, especially to these itinerant preachers who went from town to town and sharing the news that God had sent a Messiah to earth for all people. And so Matthew's reflecting on that and trying to give the early church a little encouragement. This is going to happen, but don't worry about it when it does, was what Jesus sometimes says. And here he's condemning those who do that sort of thing and who condemn and beat the early Christians. And you murdered these people, and your fathers murdered them when they came with the word of the Lord. And so how are we to trust you, Jesus is saying. And all these things are going to happen in this generation. So these things are going to happen to you, Pharisees, just as they happened to those in the past. So he's condemning them, soundly and roundly here. He's letting them have it. He's going to go on and lament over Jerusalem and then talk about the temple being destroyed and some of that. So we're not through with this yet, but we're close to the end. And he's going to tell a couple more familiar parables when we get to chapter 25. So there's hope. But for now, think about, the experience of Christians over the centuries who have lived in all kinds of places where it was tough and where the authorities were after you. And so you had to keep your faith kind of underground, or keep it quiet, or keep it hidden a little bit. You couldn't put the nativity scene on your front porch or something because you didn't really want to advertise that you were a Christian. You wanted to live that life and share it with people, but you had to be careful. And that's one of the problems in Christian ethics, is how do you maintain that care and also obey Jesus? And it's difficult. So think about that today too. How are you going to maintain your witness as a Christian, and at the same time not be not be so obnoxious about it that the authorities come and lock you up, right? We don't want that either. So on that cheerful note, I will leave you to your Tuesday, and we will see you tomorrow. Have a great day.